Hello everyone, welcome to yet another live Q&A. I couldn't do live Q&A last week. I wasn't feeling yeah. I did get a couple of questions just around whether the live Q&A will be happening or not. So I did answer it in the Telegram group. If you are not a part of Telegram group, you will be able to find the link in the chat. Not in the chat exactly, in the description of this live stream. And I'm also trying to monitor the audio on my separate system, and the audio seems to be fine. But if you have any issues uh, getting the audio, please do let me know. But from my side, the audio is looking fine. As always, if you have already joined and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. Thanks Goku for confirming, really appreciate it. There were quite a lot of things happening in past week or two. Things like the white paper, immigration white paper that UK released. So there were quite a lot of new things that were proposed. I'm not sure exactly when it will be implemented, most likely in next year, April. But there were quite a lot of major things mentioned in that white paper. So it can affect your studies, it can affect your work. There are quite a lot of things mentioned in that white paper. If you want to have a discussion around that, we can also discuss about things. If you have any queries, feel free to in the chat. I haven't read the whole paper from start till the end, but I did go through some of the important points, and then I also tried indexing the paper so that I can ask questions. If you have any indexed it, if you have any questions, you can ask. I can ask those questions to ChatGPT, and it should be able to take a look into that white paper and should be able to answer. Hi bro, I'm getting problem in getting education loan for Hertfordshire University because of low CIBIL score of my co-applicants. Is there any way? Are you trying to put any collateral? Are you taking a collateral loan, or is it a loan where you're not giving any collateral? There are some other ways as well. I don't know exactly from where you are getting the loan. You can maybe try HDFC Credila. They are slightly lenient on the criterias, but do keep in mind the interest rates will be high. So yeah, it depends from where you are getting the loan, what is the nature of your loan. No, it's non, yeah, then it could be a little tricky, because when you put some collateral, they have some assurance that yeah, they can always recover the loan amount. But if there's no collateral, then it can be slightly tricky. So if there is a possibility that you can provide some collateral, I think that way it will make sense, but you went for non-collateral route, so I'm assuming you might not want to put anything for collateral, so it's understandable. Um, what else? I don't remember exactly what was the name of the agency. There was one agency when I was applying for educational loan, and I was applying for different universities. I think there was one agent reached out to me, and they even told that we can help you in uh, getting a loan. I didn't really need their help, so I did not go with that. But I'm trying to remember the name of that agency. Bank is advance and Prodigy giving me only $18,500, but it's not enough. Yeah, because that might only be the fees. You will still need some amount for living expense that you need to show in your account. So yeah, that might be tricky. I'm just trying to do a quick search. I can't remember. Been a while. I can maybe take a look in my email. But yeah, it is tricky when you don't have collateral. It can be tricky to get some amount. Do UK government has any intention to withdraw the 2-year post-study work visa after master's degree for international students? So they did propose, and they want to reduce it from 2 year to 18 months. So they're not going to remove it completely. So that's a positive thing, but they will make it 18 months and it won't be for 2 years. But you need to keep in mind that when you apply for student visa, it is not only valid for 1 year, it is actually valid for 1 year, 4-5 months. So basically, your visa will start if you are coming for September intake. Your visa will start from September, for example, 2025 to September 2026. But then you will have additional 4-5 months. So your visa will actually expire in January 2027. So you will have some months there as well, and then on top of that you get 18 months of well, now you're getting 2 years of post study work visa. You have essentially 2 years 6 months, and maybe after the change it will be uh, 18 months plus that 4-5 months buffer a period. So you'll still get 2 years of post study work visa. So they're not exactly removing the whole thing, they're just making it 18 months, and we still don't know whether they will make it 18 months or not. It's just a white paper. It's not a confirmation of all these things will be implemented, and we also don't know exactly when they will implement it. Most likely it will be April next year. So if you are someone who is coming for your masters this year in September, maybe that won't apply to you. But again, these are all the assumptions. I can only tell you that they will probably make it 18 months instead of 2 years, but they are not going to remove it completely. Fees is not even covered in this. Fees is 19,800. right? Can I get living expense loan from another bank? I think you can, and there are different type of loan. Maybe personal loan can also work, I think, but there are different natures, because if you are taking a living expense loan from some other bank, you can always ask them. I'm not a loan expert, so I can't really tell you how it will work, but you can ask whether it will come under education loan. If they say that no, you can't get education loan just for your living expense side of things, then you may have to go for personal loan. And for personal loan, again, I have never taken personal loan, so I don't know exactly how it works, but you can maybe explore those different options, and if there is a way to get collateral, that will make life a lot more easier. Will the white paper further make it tougher to get jobs here? Already sponsorship is an issue with most openings. Now 10 years will make that even more. I agree, it will make it difficult, but then it will also make it easy. You need to think from both the perspective, because if they make those changes, there will be a lot less people coming to the UK for their studies. And when it comes to IT altogether, I'm not just talking about data science, AI, or software development. Overall, IT, it includes cybersecurity, game development, those kind of things, anything related to coding and stuff. They have always had skill shortage. So I think it is only gonna help a lot of people who are already here, because that might not apply to you. But then again, if they decide to apply that rule to literally everyone, then it can be difficult, because then you'll have to be on skilled worker visa for 10 years. But if they choose to apply it only for new entrants, in that case, I think you're still good, but at least it will reduce the competition in the market, and then you will have a lot more chances of getting a job and eventually sponsorship as well. So there are positives and negatives of this, but I agree. Initially, it will be a lot more difficult for those who have already covered or completed their course, and are already on their post-study worker visa and still looking for a job and don't have a sponsorship right now. So it is a little bit tricky for them. Yes, I agree. Did you take collateral loan? Not, then how did you? Yes, it was a collateral for me. And also, I did not take the living expense loan. I just took loan uh, for my university fees. The rest I had saved up. So yeah, I used those savings for living expense. And from that also, I just needed, well, I had to show for 9 months, but I used up only like 40% of the funds that I saved. And then after that, I had my internship. But that is something which is not relevant at this point, is because you have to show those funds in your account before you come to the UK. So you need to have the total amount in your account. I'm trying to look for those agencies which did reach out about education. Edu loan services. EDULOAN services.com. I mean, this is something which I found in my emails. I don't even remember. It's been a while. It's like more than 5 years now. So so yeah, maybe do reach out to them and see what they have to tell about the education loan. Hopefully they will be able to provide you some different solutions. I'm working as software developer from past 4 years. Now I have applied for MSc in data science in Cardiff. Can you tell me about assignments and exam pattern and what is current? Okay. So different universities have different assessments and exam pattern. Some universities are fully based on your coursework, so you just do projects and then they review it and then they score your projects and your coursework. Some universities, they have mix of both. They do conduct traditional exams where you have to write some of the answers, and then you will have some projects. So I don't know exactly how it is for Cardiff University, but when it comes to assessments, they are uh, very same when it comes to project works and stuff. So if there are any exams, I won't be able to comment on that because I did my masters from Newcastle University, and in Newcastle University is what it was purely based on projects, so there were no written exams. For Cardiff, if they are written exams, I think it will be very similar to what Muta had in India, I suppose. As for projects, sometimes they give you problem statements, and there will be only problem statement, and then they will also provide you the data, and then you will have to do almost everything by yourself. Yes, they can explain you things like what are the actual requirements and deliverables and things like that, but do keep in mind that it's not only about the projects and the code that you write. Your report also holds a lot of weightage, and if you do everything perfectly in your code assignment but then you don't do very well in your report, you will lose quite a lot of marks. So you need to be very good with your report writing and how you explain those things in your report. What are the different steps you took? What was the kind of research you conducted? So those kind of things. I have a dedicated video on my channel explaining about report writing. So if you give me a moment, I can try to find that video and put the link in the chat, just so you get an idea about the report writing, because for me it was a little bit tricky when I did my first assignment, because I paid quite a lot of attention to the code work, but I didn't really pay too much attention on report writing. I thought, yeah, it's fine, whatever, and I lost quite a lot of marks in my first assessment. So after that, I started writing report as soon as I start my project. As in, when I used to do certain stuff, I used to add that in the report, and then at the end I used to make it or finalize it. So yeah, I found the video. I will put that in the chat. There you go. In terms of difficulty, if you know programming, and if you have, and obviously you are a software developer for 4 years, so I see no difficulties in programming. And when it comes to the maths and stats side of things, if you have refreshed those things, I think you should be fine, and universities do cover those things, so you shouldn't worry too much about it. But if you know few things beforehand coming to the UK, I think that will definitely help. So that was on assignments. What is the current job situation? So job situation is not great. There are very less number of jobs. When I say less, it's a relative term because there are a lot more people applying for those jobs, and there aren't enough number of jobs for those many number of people. But then do keep in mind that quite a lot of people who are applying for those jobs, they are probably not very good. Sometimes the CVs look good, but when you interview them, it just feels like they're lacking quite a lot of foundation skills. So yeah, it's just competition is too high. I won't say that the number of jobs are extremely low. Jobs are there, but the competition is extremely high. But when we look at the pure numbers and completely forget about the competition, it is definitely significantly low when compared to last year or last to last year. So yeah, jobs have definitely decreased quite a lot. What's your take on short-term contractual jobs? Should we target them more as post-study work visa would suffice and sponsorship wouldn't be required? Yes, you should, because when you work on contractual and if you're not able to find a full-time job, but still if you are able to get this contractual job, I think it will give you experience and you will have something to put on your CV rather than putting nothing. So it will help you to build some experience. So I would say yes, you should apply for those jobs as well. And I used to apply for those jobs as well. And sometimes they do increase the contract as well. And if they really like, they can also hire you as a full-time employee. So I would say yes, you should not ignore those jobs. In which content we have to be good while coming for MS in data science to get job, make somewhat easy after completing masters. Um, I will talk about the technical skills at last. I think the two most important things are your communication skills. That is probably the first thing. The second thing is your experience. If you are someone who is straight out of the college, it will be very difficult for you to find a job. But if you have some experience, like 4 or 5 years of experience, then I think you will have a lot better chances of getting a job when compared to someone who no experience whatsoever. So those are the two main things. Now coming on to the technical aspect, most universities they do cover all the fundamentals of data science, but if you already know programming, that is going to help you quite a lot, because then you can actually focus on the data science stuff and you won't have to worry too much about programming. And if universities, for example, covering the content in R programming, but then you know Python programming, it will be a lot easier for you to pick up R programming as opposed to someone who doesn't know anything about programming. So, or vice versa. So I would say, yeah, knowing programming helps a lot. And then apart from that, maybe if you can brush up your maths and stats, that should also help. So yeah, those are the things. If you cover before coming to the UK, that would be better. And if you have more time, then you can always go into machine learning, Gen AI, just so you have covered the basics and you understand what those things are and what could be the different use cases of them. And then when you will come for your masters, those things won't sound alien to you and you'll feel like, yeah, I have read about this, now I just need to go a little bit deeper into these things. So yeah, it will just give you good mindset to approach those things. Rather than doing part-time jobs in cafe or food chain, are there any internships or part-time available for data science and DB developer? Yes, there are a lot of internships, research assistant jobs, and even part-time developer type of roles. So here in the UK, a lot of companies do provide those kind of roles. There are different ways of getting them. One is obviously LinkedIn or different job portals, but then the better way to do it is be in touch with your professors, your colleagues, and PhD students. They usually get these things. They usually have more awareness of where to find these things, more specific to their university, and be able to get in touch with employers via the contacts that you have. So those kind of things. And a lot of these universities have collaboration with a lot of the companies. So you may be able to find these information on your university's page as well. For example, for Newcastle University, there is a separate um, section within the university, well, the separate building, I would say, the Catalyst, where a lot of companies, they collaborate with the university and then they work on some of the research work and different kind of projects. And there they offer quite a lot of part-time jobs and internships. So I could just directly go there and talk to some of the employers and ask whether there are any opportunities, and find those. And then they also post those openings on university's career page, and they do not post those things on LinkedIn or other places. So it is very much directed towards the students of those universities. But if they are not able to find anyone in the university, then they go out in the market and try to find people. So yes, there are different part-time jobs for data analytics and software development. Randomly in my feed आ गया भाई 8 की watching में Q&A कर रहे subscribe. Yeah, I usually don't get a lot of um, viewers on the live Q&A. It ranges from 5 to 10 or something like that, but it's important that I come here and answer these questions, because it's hard to answer all the questions in comments and then on LinkedIn. So I also like coming here and talking to the viewers one by one, so that sometimes even I learn quite a lot of things here. So it's good. And thanks for subscribing, Mark. I have an upcoming 4-hour technical assessment round for a DS role. Can you give some ideas what could it be? Earlier I have had take home tasks which had more time, but not sure about time. It's very hard to say by just this one line description, like 4-hour technical assessment for a DS role, because it could be literally anything. I had one where it was more like a 1 hour or 1.5 hour, something like that. and I had to solve some of the problems live on the screen. And the problems ranged from data frame transformation using pandas to some numpy calculations. And I think the most important one was to transform date from one format to another format using pandas. So I think it would be important if you could maybe refresh the date formats and take a look what are the different date formats and how to change from string to date within pandas, because that is something which we do quite a lot in a day-to-day job, and especially when there is uh, data moving from one source to another source, the formats can get messed up. So that is something which I can tell, but it was mostly around various uh, data frame transformation, changing a long data frame to wide data frame, and then changing wide data frame to long data frame, those kind of things. So those things I remember, but it's a 4-hour assessment, so they could go in a lot more detail and depth. And I think it's a 4 hour, so they might even give you a use case, for example a problem statement and then a data set. Then you may have to formulate it into a data science solution, and then you may have to do some exploit analysis, and then maybe even train a model if it's a small data set. So yeah, that's what I think it could be, but again, it totally depends on the job description and what other information they have provided for this particular assessment. But anyways, all the best, Somita. I hope you will do good. Is 2 years of experience considered as good, and it will help me to get jobs? 2 year is definitely something. Something is better than nothing. So I would say yes, it should help. And if 2 years of experience is in a relevant domain, then it will be a lot better. So yeah, it is definitely going to be considered. I'm coming in coding world. Any advice? Let me go back probably 10 years now. More than 10 years, yeah. And think what were the challenges that I faced and how did I overcome that and how did I do it differently. So when I was learning to code, I thought learning the syntax will be everything, and partially it is right, that if you understand the syntax of a particular programming language, it will make your life a lot more easier. But I think the most important thing was to be able to think in a very step by step process. So for example, if I ask you to find the largest number in a list, in Python you can just do max and solve your problem. But let's say it's C programming, and then you have to actually write in C also. But then let's say you have to write that program. Don't think about how that program will work and how you will have to write that program. First think, how will you do it manually? You will first take a look at the first number, and then you will take a look at the second number, and then you will compare them. If this second number is a bigger one, then you will take this number and then you'll compare it to the third number, and then you will see that the third number is bigger or the second number is bigger. So let's say second number is big, then you will ignore the third one, then you'll go to the fourth one, and then you will compare them. So that's how you will probably do it manually, and it works so fast in our brain that we don't even realize that we are doing something like this. So you have to slow things down a lot and then try to think how you will do it manually. Once you have figured that thing out, and I think it will make it a lot more easier for you to then write that code step by step. So yes, learning a syntax is going to be very helpful, and it should be the first step. Once you have learned the syntax, try to solve as many problems as possible on lead code. That will give you a very good confidence about how to write a problem or solve a problem. And how to structure your code and things like that. So I think that is going to help a lot. Solve as many problems as possible and start from the easier ones, and then slowly start to move towards the difficult problem. I have got admission from Newcastle University and I paid deposit. I have 3 months of time, so what can I do so that I get an internship at earliest? Try to cover as many things as possible related to data science. I have a video about things that you should learn before coming to the UK for your masters. So let me quickly find that video and I will put that in the chat. There it is. Yeah, so this video will give you some understanding about what all things you should cover before coming to the UK. And if you cover these things, I think you'll be in a very good position to start applying for internships from day one. So yeah, I think this video should be good enough to get you started. I have a 3 LPA React job right now. It's been 1 year. I want to switch. What can be asked in interview other than DSA? Also, is it a good idea to apply now or should I learn other things first, like DevOps? That's a very good question because I understand 3 LPA could be very less. Before switching, I would say in your current role, in your current organization, if you think that there are still things to be learned, and if you feel like there are other things that are involved there which you are not completely confident about, try to familiarize yourself with those things and don't just stick to your day job or the task that has been assigned to you. Try to explore other things. If you don't have the option or opportunity to work in or apply those things in your current role, maybe you can work on your personal projects to see how those things are working out. And then if you start to feel like, yes, now I'm confident and I think I have learned everything in my current role, then I think it would be a really good place, or it will be a really good point where you can start to explore different options like different jobs. So that is one answer to that question. The other thing is that if you feel like the kind of knowledge you have on React, I think you should uh, apply for jobs outside of your organization. And what kind of things they can ask? So you can apply for front-end developer, right? And if you're applying for front-end, obviously they might ask you data structures and algorithms simply because you have 1 year of work experience, so they would still want to test you on your DSA. Next will be React. So I'm not a React developer or a front-end developer, so I may not be able to give you exact questions what they can ask. What I can tell you is when I was in my university bachelor, when I was doing my bachelor's, I did appear for one of the front-end interviews and they asked me the basics of like HTML, difference between, I think there's a technical term to define those things like margin and padding and those kind of things, and how they affect the structure of the page. and they asked quite a lot of CSS specific question, and then I think React is a whole beast in itself, so I'm sure there will be a lot of technical questions around React, so they might ask you those questions. So yeah, if you apply for jobs now, you might get asked those kind of questions. And yes, having knowledge of DevOps is going to help quite a lot, because as a data scientist, I think MLOps is one of the things which is very useful that one should know. But again, it depends from organization to organization as well. In my organization, there is a dedicated MLOps team, so we don't really have to do those things, and we can't really do those things because we don't have proper access to those things. So it's a little bit tricky and difficult to learn those things. But if you have the opportunity to learn DevOps, you should definitely look into those things, because that will make you a full developer. I won't say full stack developer, because for that you need backend as well. So maybe you can spend another 6 to 7 months to maybe make it a more like a full stack developer and then apply for jobs. Then you might get a very good hike. So yeah, those are some of the options that I could suggest, but at the end of the day, you have to make your own decision. Hey Ashutosh, yeah, I'm doing good. How are you? As a high school student, can we add coding studies? Yeah, definitely. There were some, yeah, I think I had some batchmates in my bachelor's, and they had programming, I think, in their school as well as one of the subjects. So they were really good at coding when they started bachelor's in computer science, and it took some time for me to reach to a level where they were already uh, in that particular batch. So yeah, I think if you really want to get into programming, and if you say that yes, this is something which you really like to do, then I would say yes. And these days there are so many materials available on YouTube, and there are so many good open source resources using which you can learn coding. And coding is not something which you uh, for which you need to go to university. You can actually learn from open source content. So I would say yeah, uh, you can definitely do it in your school. So what's better, USA or UK, salary wise, settling abroad wise, and everything? Salary wise, I would say definitely US. US definitely pays quite a lot, but then expenses are also quite high in US. Settling, if you had asked this question to me last week or last to last week, I would have said UK, because you have to be on skilled worker visa for 5 years to get your PR. But in US, there is no specific timeline, and even if you stay there for 10 years or something, you're still not, you can't say that yeah, I will get the green card or something like that. So it will be very difficult to get settlement in the US. But then it depends, a lot of people do get. So that's the thing. But recently UK has announced this immigration white paper, where they said that you have to be on skilled work visa for 10 years to get the PR. So yeah, it is very difficult. Message is deleted, right? No problem. So yeah, it is difficult to say that which one is better when it comes to settlement. The next thing is probably the culture and the way of living and things like that. So it totally depends from person to person. I prefer living in the UK, but you might be someone who would like to live in US. So that is something which I will leave it to you. What is your preference? Um, how to get to those countries? There are different options. One is obviously the master's route, the other one is directly finding a job in those countries. For masters, I think it can be expensive to do masters in US. So if you are tight on your budget, then maybe UK will be the better option. And also the course duration in US, it ranges from 1.5 to 2 years. In the UK, it is just 1 year. You can make it 2 years if you want to by taking placement year. So yeah, those are some of the differences. Those are some of the, let's say, technical differences. There are other differences like I mentioned, the food, the culture, the weather, those kind of things. Those are very specific, and it could be something that you like but I won't, or something that I like but you won't. So it is very difficult to answer from those aspects. So that is something which you need to research. Hi Jay. The job description revolves mostly around policy and decision making in public sector. So I think it can have anything from EDA to database, device, policy oriented. I can't say because I am not expert in policy oriented roles. I don't think I appeared for anything of that sort. So sorry, I may not be able to provide any ideas or advice for those specific things. Um, but yeah, if I think about a bit, then maybe something will come to my mind. But right off the bat, I don't think I have anything specific around. But yeah, it could involve exploit analysis, data visual, things like that. I've planned to pursue my bachelor's and PG both in Australia. I had researched about many universities I wanna enroll via scholarship, 77% in 12th, and next year taking my NEET exam. Yeah, would it be a plus point for me to enroll into university marks? Yes, if you are able to get good scholarship, then why not? Um, yeah, it will be good. I am an AI engineer with hybrid Gen AI, 3 years experience. So it's bloody obvious MS in AI, but wanna settle abroad. So what should I choose, US or EU? Look, what are the internship times in UK? When do we have to do during MS or after, and scholarship and everything? Can you tell? Right. So internship times. Well, you can work for 20 hours per week when you are on your um, student visa, and during term time, when it's off from university, you can do internship for 40 hours. So those are the kind of timings you can apply for internship as soon as you come to the UK. I think same is for US as well. So yeah, if you are able to get the internship on day one, that's good. You can start doing your internship on day one. In terms of scholarship, most of these universities in the UK do provide some sort of scholarship ranging from £1,000 to all the way up to 100% education fees, and then 100% of your whole living expense as well. So everything will be covered. So yeah, those things vary quite a lot. Like teaching and research assistant role. Yes, those roles are also available in most of the universities. I think one of the batchmates, he did get those research assistant type of job or internship, probably at the tail end of the second semester, something like that, when we were about to start our dissertation. So yes, those roles are also available. And it's very difficult to tell you whether you should choose US or UK, because as I mentioned, they both have their pros and cons. And I did mention that in terms of job market, obviously US job market is a lot bigger than the UK job market, so there will be a lot more number of jobs in US when compared to the UK. But when you look at the number of people applying for each job, it is going to be same in both the countries. So essentially you have similar kind of competition in both the countries. So it doesn't really matter if there are a lot more jobs available in US. And what are the pays for it? It varies from £15 per hour, and can go all the way up to £25 per hour, depending on the nature of the job. So yeah, that is the kind of pay for those part-time jobs and internships for those kind of roles, especially with master's degree. If you do PhD, and while you're doing your PhD, if you do those jobs, then maybe it can be a little bit higher. तो क्या करूँ bro? Okay, listen. If salary is the most important thing for you, if you want high paying job, then US. But and also, if you feel like if there are more number of jobs, then again US. And if you feel like you need more time in your course, let's say more than 1 year, then US. Those are the three things that I can think of for US. In US, the USA the reduce RA. I don't quite understand that question, so if you can maybe rephrase that. So yeah, those are the things about US. And also for US you need to take GRE, whereas for UK you don't really need GRE. And I think there is a lot more prep time for GRE, so you need to dedicate a lot more time and resources to prepare for GRE, whereas in the UK you just need to take IELTS and you should be good to go. So those are the things which might or might not work for US. As for the UK, if you want to finish a course in less time, it's just 1 year. The fees is relatively less as compared to US. mm, number of jobs are less in the UK. The salaries are less in the UK. But in US, I think the medical expenses are quite high. In UK, medical expenses are low. So if you are someone who is very fit, you don't have any health conditions, then I think US might be the better option because you don't need to worry too much about your medical bills. But if you are someone who occasionally gets sick and feel like you may need more medical attention, then maybe UK will be the better option. One other thing, in US, there are no employee protection policy sort of thing. So if company wants to fire you, they can fire you quite easily. But in Europe, there is something like that. So companies can't simply just fire you for no reason. There has to be a very strong reason that company has to fire you from the company. Having said that, it's not like people don't get laid off in UK. So people do get laid off in UK as well. So yeah, those are the things. I hope that will help you make your mind. And yeah, I understand RA means research assistant, but I still do not understand that whole sentence. I've listened to many people saying it's impossible to achieve 100% scholarship. 50%. Could I be able to apply? I will not give up unless I succeed, but I am afraid. It is difficult, yes, because probably thousands and thousands of people apply for those 100% scholarship, and maybe only one or two people get that. So I won't say it's impossible, but it is very, very, very difficult to get that. But if you won't apply, there is no way you will get it. So you need to apply for the scholarship, and if you are the one, you will definitely get it. So yeah, I don't think there's anything to be afraid about because it's not going to help in any way. So just try to maybe build your profile in a nice way and try to apply for those scholarships, and hopefully you will get the scholarship. So after MS, I want to do MBA. Can you tell on it? If you want to do MBA, I would say stay away from UK then, because I don't know how it is in US. It might be the same in US as well, but in the UK, if you're doing MBA or business related courses, like business management related courses, there are already quite a lot of people from the UK doing those kind of courses. So companies are always going to prefer people uh, from the UK for those kind of roles. But if you want to stick to technical roles like AI engineer or things like that, then UK is a good option. I've gone through your prereq video. Python maths are fine, but what about big data tech? Yes, it's good to have. It's more like good to have, yeah. Because when you will be working in our organization, yes, you need to uh, work with quite a lot of data. But do keep in mind that different companies use different big data technology. Some may use Spark, PySpark, Snowflake, Databricks, those kind of things. So it varies from organization to organization, and it's not possible for you to learn literally everything. So just having an understanding about what are distributed systems and how to handle big data. There are some packages like Dask in Python. Try to use those and understand what lazy execution is, those kind of things. So if you just understand those things, I think you'll be able to pick up any of the big data technologies, and you should be fine. So yeah, it's good to have understanding of big data, because when working in organization, there's always big data these days. You will People still use pandas, and there are a lot of distributed version of pandas now. But it will be very seldom that you will get data in Excel sheet and you have to do this. If you get a research assistant role, that is the particular semester fees gets waived off. I don't think your fees gets waived off. You will still have to pay the fees. So in the UK, you can pay your fees in installment, maybe 2 installments, and you can also pay it in one go. So I don't know how it is now, but um, when I started my masters, there were these two options. So you will have to pay your fees. They won't just waive off your fees. Or maybe you can talk to your university, and if that university offers this kind of thing, then yeah, that is fine. But I don't think that was there in Newcastle University. It again is very university specific question. So if you have offer from a university, you can always reach out to them and ask them whether this kind of thing happened. But as far as I know, you will always have to pay your fees. This is something which you just get paid in your account, and you can use it for your living expense like that. Bro, do you need thumbnails? I will make it for free. I mean, thanks a lot for offering. Um, I can maybe take a look at some of the thumbnails that you make, but I wouldn't say I necessarily need thumbnails because the videos that I post, I make my own thumbnails, I edit my own videos, and I'm for now quite satisfied with what I make. I'm sure you will be making a lot better thumbnails than what I make for my videos. For live Q&A, I just make them generic every weekend. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but I can maybe take a look at a couple of thumbnails that you might have already made. But thanks for the offer. I really appreciate that. Wow, we are already over 1 hour. I didn't even realize. Can you guide me when I should apply to get a most probable chance to get a scholarship? I mean, if the date came for I would say as soon as they open or they start the application, the sooner you apply the better. So different scholarships have different starting date, so you may have to keep track, maybe create an Excel sheet and list down all the scholarships and their starting date, and then always keep a reminder that I need to apply for this particular scholarship on this day. And as soon as they open the application, you should just go and apply for that. So the best answer is on the very first day. Any option on global talent visa can to be applied after post-study work visa? Is definitely you can apply for global talent visa if you think you have something significant, you have done something to contribute to the society, and if it has a greater impact, those kind of things. It has a list of eligible criteria. So if you go on to the UK government website, you will be able to find a lot of details. But yes, you can always apply for global talent visa after post-study. Hi Shubham. And if I apply on time, like 12 a.m. midnight means a new day, technically will it work? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's not like you should be the first person to apply, but make sure that you apply it the on the first day. You need not be the first person to apply because it's just difficult. So yeah, that is perfectly fine. Just try to apply as soon as possible. Your starting career package. My starting package was 35,000 pounds, if I remember. Yeah, it was 30 because there were multiple offers. So I was just trying to remember. Yeah, it was 35,000 pound per year. It's obvious we need that pay. I mean, big pay, and that will be only through MS plus MBA or PhD, and have no patience for. I won't say that you need MBA for significantly high package. You can get that with MS as well. So yeah, as you clearly mentioned, you don't want to do PhD, which is completely fine. PhD is not for everyone. But it's not like you need MBA to get the high package. But the thing about MBA is that, I mean, it's totally up to you how you want to proceed. Your career is totally up to you. But if you do MBA, it is considered that you want to go into managerial role rather than sticking to a technical role. So if you just want to pursue MBA just to have something to back your profile, but still you would like to stay in technical role, then yeah, definitely go for MBA. No problem at all. But once you do MBA, then the job market sees you slightly differently because you put that you have done MBA and then you're applying for some technical roles because you would have spent, I don't know exactly how much time it takes to complete masters in business. So if it is for 1 year, then you will have 1 year gap in your CV for from technical side of things to your role. So that's that. And if it is 2 year, then it's the gap is even bigger. Then the employers might think like you want to go to management side of things and you're not really that interested in technical side of things. So even if they give you a job today, then you may switch to a different job which is related to MBA. So, and also they may also get an impression that you yourself is not very clear as to what you want to do. So I mean, these are just some hypotheses. I'm not saying that these things may affect you in long run, but these things do happen, and I've seen a few people. And when you talk to these visa immigration experts, they say that people who do MBA um, are less likely to um, get a job because there are already quite a lot of people in the UK who are taking these management courses and they are in those managerial places. So if you are someone who is technical, then like your life is slightly easier. But it's not like you need to stay in this technical role just because it has more opportunities. If you just don't like it, then why bother doing MS? Just go for MBA. But if you like it, then I would say stick to the technical role. But if you want to do both, it's totally up to you. Go ahead, do both, and yeah, explore the. How much your masters cost? So my university fee was 24,500, and I think 4,500 uh, was the scholarship. So the fees was 20,000, and then I had to show around 7,000 to 8,000 pounds for living expense. But then I did not spend that much. I spent only 4,000 pounds in my living expense because my rent was quite low. So I would say maybe 25,000 pounds. Yeah, it costed me 25,000 pounds for my master's. Can I send my profile link to your email? Yeah, that would be great. Yep, I have received the email. So thanks for sending it across. I will make a sheet of it. This is great, Jay. All the best. Hello, brother. Is Java full stack has good scope in 2027? Yes, I guess. But when it comes to web development, full stack web development, I think JavaScript frameworks are a lot more popular as compared to Java. But I'm sure there might be a lot of companies using Java still. And I think these service-based companies like Infosys, Accenture, these kind of companies, they still offer solutions using Java and full stack development in using Java. So yes, it should be fine. But if you want to get into web development, full stack web development, then I think JavaScript would be a lot better as compared to Java. It's already past 1 p.m. Thank you for time and suggestion, Rosh. All the best, Samita. Yeah, I think we are 11 minutes past the time. So I will just take all the questions which are there in the chat and then we will call it a day. And then we'll meet you guys next weekend. Yeah, can you guide which agent should I choose? Hope you will help me to reach out to work because Australian universities want that. If you are up, then you know all the, and for this you must have your own agent which will carry all your process. I could tell, I think it was, well, I did not use a lot of agents initially. I did use a couple of agents, just wanted to understand how the whole thing works. But later I realized that for UK universities it's better to apply on your own. But if you need an agent, then I can tell you Leap Scholar, if I remember correctly. I'm just looking at my email and yeah, seems like Leap Scholar. So if you search for Leap Scholar, you will be able to go to their website and you should be able to get some counseling done from them. My experience with them was good, but there were few applications which I personally felt like I could have done it better. I'm not saying that they did it, they made any mistake or anything. It was all good, but I thought if I had done it myself, I would do it in a much better way. That's why I decided to apply to some of the universities on my own. But I think they were good, really good services and all. So do reach out to Leap Scholar and hopefully to get all the information from them. What will be the basic minimum package in UK when we can expect after doing MSc in data science plus 4 years of work experience in India? So the 4 years of work experience, it depends in what area that experience is. If it's a relevant experience, then it's good. I think you can expect 40 plus. In London, you might be able to get more, maybe around 50k. But yeah, in general 40k, something like that, or more than that. If the experience is in some other domain, then the salary can vary, but it will still be around 40k. Last question, how much they charge? I mean, they didn't really charge anything. So it was free of cost, so all good. I want to go for, I don't know how things are because I think at that time they were quite new, so maybe that's why. But yeah, do reach out to them. They will provide you all the information. Or if you want, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I can provide you the emails and links. So that might help you a little bit more. So yeah. Thanks, Amita, for providing your feedback. Yeah, so Jay, maybe you can reach out to Leap Scholar. They were really good. Also, if I do MS in AI and MBA in US, then are the chances that I can find job back in India or other European countries? Yes, definitely. You can try to find a job in any of the countries. I did my master's in the UK and then I had applied for a job in one of the European countries and I did get interview and I think everything was okay and at the end I decided to stay in the UK and chose not to go for that company. But yes, it is possible. If I was able to do it, I'm sure you will be able to do it as well. I think I missed your question. Man, I want to go for something after MS in AI. Like, what should I go for? If you really want to do something else and you don't want to do PhD, then I think the only option that left is MBA, I guess. So then you can go for MBA, but you can sometimes also go for double masters. So yeah, you can do masters in something else if you really want to. It's it's difficult. It's a very difficult question to answer because if I had to do something after my masters, it would be PhD if I really wanted to do. But at this point, I don't think PhD is an option for me. So yeah, I will stick with MSc in data science that I have done. Yeah, thank you for your valuable time. It helped a lot for me. Most of the questions. So thank you. No problem, Jay. All the best. And yeah, I think we have reached the end of all the questions. Thanks everyone for joining. If you enjoyed this session, if you found it helpful, to leave a like. It really helps me and motivate me to come back and answer your questions. And as always, I enjoy talking to you guys. I learn so many things from you guys, and I hope you learn a few things from me as well. So have a great weekend. Happy learning. Bye.